Absolutely. I think the group needed to put something back with the win last week against Louth. We had a torrid league campaign, got out of it at the end, and now we're probably stuttering away, for the want of a better word. But look, what we're trying to do is beat in front of us. The Kerry game, we performed credibly enough for 45-50 minutes, but that was about it. And at this stage, moral victories aren't much good after that. And look, we have 2 victories under our belt now, but we're under no illusions now. We're really in the frying pan now. So, but hopefully, look, we'll prepare again for the next 2 weeks and see what the draw brings us and see where we get to.
The goals were crucial, John, and they came at crucial times for you as well. But from your own perspective, defensively, we disappointed to concede 116.
We were, I suppose we were lucky. Even in the first half, they could have a few more scores as well. And we did feel, our intensity wasn't there. Our intensity in the tackle wasn't there, and we were standing back off Limerick coming through the middle, and they popped over. Whatever it was, 6 or 7 points the first half. They could have 10 or 11, and we could have been in a bit of bother after playing with the wind. And I suppose the disappointing thing today was we got our big scores. The next thing we let them down the field, and they could have been in for a goal maybe there in the end, and it would have been, it would have made it very hard on us. But look, it's something to work on. I thought as well there was probably heroic displays in defence that Kevin Little and Sean Poulter. But it's something we'll have to work on. It has cost us all the year. We're very open down the middle, and on another day it could have cost us big time, and we'll just try and rectify it there the next week or so.
And that's the thing, you're going up probably playing in Croke Park now. Bigger, wider pitch. It's closing off those avenues and those alleys that you need to be able to do.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, this is part of the learning experience for everyone. Hopefully this is a project going forward in that there are a lot of players in Cork. There's a lot of young players coming, but it's no good unless you start putting displays and victories together now, and that's what we're trying to do. But look, we're up against the big boys the next day, and it's going to be really tough. But as I said, look, we're there. We'll test ourselves. We'll see where we're at, and it's a 2-horse game. You don't know. Look at Cleary yesterday. Very few people give them a chance against Roscommon, and they went up and left everything on the line, and that's what I hope we do in 2 weeks' time.
On the Limerick black card, you seem to capitalise on that period.
It did, yeah. I didn't see what it was for. It's but the games now, the intensity they are played at, if you have 15 against 14, it's it can mean a lot. And I was worried there when Paul Walsh was sent off there that we were down to 14 there coming into the last 6 or 7 minutes or whatever. But I think we managed it fairly well there at the end. But definitely, I think the black card was a big turning point. It let us, it took the bit of pressure off us at the back, particularly from kick-outs, and we were able to get scores in that particular period of time.
What was your view of the sending off?
Second half?
No, the sending off, Paul Walsh's.
I didn't see it, no.
Okay.
All I saw was something, man going down. I didn't see it.
John, maybe you've already touched on this, but 3 your backs going forward were hugely effective. Kevin and Matty maybe after a difficult first half, Sean Paul as well, and we were getting forward with real purpose and helped in the creation of a lot of scores.
Yeah, and look, I suppose the way the modern game has gone now, forwards are tied up so much, and that, with a lot of players back, the onus is on the players coming facing the goal to be able to get up there with a bit of pace and inject pace in to get through that blanket defence. And even, as I said, any game I'm looking at inter-county level now, the backs are scoring 5 and 6 points every day, and that's what you have to have, or else setting up things. And we had our lads today that did that, so yeah, we're very pleased with that, chap.
Your half forward line, John, I don't think any of them scored in the previous 2 games, but you got 5 points today. That's one big improvement. Yeah,
without a doubt, chap. We asked them for a bigger contribution maybe today, and the last day was very difficult against Louth, in that all the players were back. The day before that against Kerry, we probably asked them to do a lot kind of a defensive, to go back into defence and shore that up. But we gave them leeway today to push forward. We felt even coming up to half time that they hadn't done that enough. But in fairness to them, as always, the 3 of them left everything on the line, and we got the contribution of the scores, which was vital in the end.
Was Brian Hayes injured?
Brian Hayes was sick.
Okay.
So So he was sick overnight, so he wasn't able to be here at all.
John, you probably have targeted the last 8 nearly as a minimum, I'd say, this year, and you've got there now. So, I mean, obviously some people will say bonus territory, but that's probably a wrong way of looking at it. Would you, as you said yourself, it's a 2-horse now, it's a big opportunity there.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think we can play Kerry again.
No.
So it's either Dublin and Derry and Galway. We played Derry and Galway in the league, maybe beaten 7 or 8 points, but not totally outclassed. And I think the lads would know that we think we're after improving a good bit. In the meantime, we have players back that we didn't have then, and not alone would we be having a shot at it. We would be hoped to be very competitive and within a chance of winning it, because look, a county like Cork, with the players we have at our disposal, this should be a minimum. And when we're here now, it's we want to play in an All-Ireland semi-final after a quarter-final, and the next 2 weeks we'll leave no stone unturned to try and get there.
Anyone, John, to come back into the reckoning in the next fortnight? Or
Pardon?
Anyone to come back into the reckoning in the next
Well,
fortnight?
there's a couple of lads there that are Sean Meehan is due to come back to full training this week. Killeen Hanlon played a club game yesterday, so they may be back in the frame for the next day. Brian Hayes obviously should be okay for the next day. So those 2 lads may or may not, but it depends how they get through now the next week or 2.
Meehan would be a huge boost though, isn't it?
Yeah, the only thing probably he hasn't played since the league. You know what I mean? It's one thing to get back to full training. It's another thing to be at match sharpness there and be able to play. So look, we'll have a look, and if he can play a part, well and good. And look, maybe it might come too soon for him.
Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.